Okay, we are live again. And happy Easter out there to all of you in the Russian Orthodox religion. Well, another interesting week on the world stage. Peace talks, no peace talks, everything going to hell. Nobody knows what's really happening. And stocks, corruption, insider trading, all this stuff going around. But there's one thing that I did notice. I just got an email from PayPal and also uh, one of the bank accounts we have. It seems that they're changing a lot of things in the banking system, especially with PayPal. Um, I guess the cash back thing is ending or something like that. And more restrictions on transactions with that system. I've been locked out of it, but in some weird way. Um, but yeah, PayPal again, another switch of stuff. I guess they run crypto through there and that. I guess there's several things you can do. Um, I got that uh, wallet they advertised on Rumble wallet or something that is supposed to be um, something that they can't touch, or I have no idea. But I filled it out because people can leave you tips and send support and that. And let's see if I can find that thing. See what we got here. Mm-hmm.
Latka Boska, she's driving again. Say prayers for me that I make it home. Who are you calling?
Yeah, that was weird.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Lincoln Infield here.
Let me see. Rumble wallet. All right, there it is. Non-custodial wallet. All right. I don't know why it just doesn't open, but let's see if any. I think they would have told me receive and give tips directly from your Rumble fans. Oh, again. So we go here. I can afford it. It's a pain in the ass to access it, but nobody sent me anything, so I guess the funds cannot be screwed with no matter what. So, but the only good thing is I'm still seeing gun deals come up every now and again, mostly handguns. They're reducing the price on a lot of things. Atlantic Firearms has dropped the price on them Star uh, 30 30s or 35s, whatever they are, which is a bargain. Okay, if you like old 1980s handguns. I think they've come down, PSA's come down on the CZ82s, but a lot of people say they're not in good condition. You still see some of them weird, the Beretta 35s or whatever. They're still at Royal Tiger. And another strange thing Royal Tiger has received are these Ethiopian AK-47 kits. Now, what's very unusual about them is they come in with the barrels and everything still there in the receiver stub. Okay. They give you the front trunnion, the rear trunnion, and all the internals. There's no dust cover, recoil spring, bolt carrier, and bolt. So, and there's something unusual. They're a North Korean style and something else. So I don't understand how they did that, okay, to where they don't have the other parts. All right. Morning, Megabait. But I was watching on the AKs. I know somebody here, he'll probably pop up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever the hell it is. Was asking about AK-47s. Now, several kits I built, okay, back in the day. The guns were complete matching and just had the center section cut out, and the rebuild wasn't bad. Now, a guy was showing me one of these US built AK rifles, and he was explaining that actually when it goes into the front trunnion and where, because he was saying how the bolt was getting battered and doing weird stuff. They're actually hand fitted. Okay. Yes, you too. Thanks for showing up. They're hand fitted. So you just can't slap something in there and with a mismatch. Well, it's just something I never knew. And that's why a lot of these people, when they're assembling and producing these guns, be it whoever or whatever, that's why these things don't work well. And then the fact they're using cast trunnion, front trunnions, where I guess some things would self-destruct and blow up. That's why now some of them have to be marked with, they have an F after the serial, meaning it's forged. Okay, I didn't realize that AKs were hand fitted in the final thing. So they're not an easy build, and especially if you don't have the matching bolt and all the other parts. I don't know what you're going to do with these kits. They're getting like $300 and some for them, and they're unusual. And none of them have the stocks. They had a stock and a handguard that they showed, but they don't come with these kits, which is pretty strange if you ask me. You know, I don't know. So there you go. That's another one. So that was an interesting kit that came out. As far as I'll stick with my Zastabas. Well, they're a good build. They're a good AK. They're kind of in a class of their own because the Yugos, they did during a lot of these Soviet satellite countries. The Czech were another one, and the Yugos. They all built their own style guns. They didn't go right with the Soviet crap, somewhat, or as much as they could, without aggravating the whole situation there. Because I guess the Warsaw Pact, they're all like NATO. They're all supposed to go in with Russia if they ever went across the border there in Germany. All of these countries were supposed to counteract NATO, I guess. I'm not quite sure what the hell they did or they do. And who knows now? Well, all of them are in NATO, I guess now. So, yeah. So it's kind of a weird situation. But I don't know. I've heard so many things in the past 3 days about what's going on, and the one thing I did see is where there are people making a boatload of money in the oil trading and stock market on this. Okay. And that's where somebody said if this is the case, that people are doing this to amass fortunes while they're causing the global disruption to where it's going to get serious, where they're talking some countries they're going to have famines and lack of food. And I can see where the international community is really starting to hate our government and the current administration, quick. Morning. So, I don't know. I have no idea what to do. The only good thing is the metals have started to creep up once again. Let me get the last spot price. Yeah, gold's up to 4,747, and silver's hanging in there at $75.76. But I did watch a video where one of the wholesalers or refiners were talking. Morning, Peter. And what happened? This volatility. The guy said that they usually produce at the refinery 10,000 ounces a day, or 100,000 ounces a day. It was 100,000 ounces a day, and they were getting in 100,000 ounces a day, and they only really produced 10,000 ounces a day or something. That they totally overloaded the capability. They just didn't have the machinery, the people, or the time to do it. So it was quite thin. Oh, that's the thing. You didn't know a year ago you could have bought it all for $30 an ounce. But who's gonna shift their wealth into it not knowing? Okay, it could have dropped back to 15. That's what's going on. Well, there you are. Right. Yeah. I have no idea what it sounds like BS. One person said that 2 or 3 tin cans went through and back. Nothing happened. It's all bluff. Then they went in 10 points, 5 points, or whatever the hell. And then I guess Vance got out there and said they didn't come to an agreement. And then now they're, who knows? If they had the capability, if they did mine the thing, how did them ships get through there unless they got them clamshell mines with a counter on them? Then, that ain't a good thing. Or just got a displacement for a tanker, which is 20 times the size of a destroyer. Quart of oil. Well, how often do you consume a quart of oil, and how many gallons of gasoline do you consume in just your everyday life to get from point A to point B? Okay, I mean that's the way of looking at it. The things they control, okay, energy, which is your electricity, your gasoline, all that else. They control energy. They control food, okay, and then your clothing and everything. That's why Walmart exists. You know, they got a monopoly on all that stuff. Necessities, things you can't get by without. Needed as gas. Yeah. So yes, it's you're not consuming it at the rate that you are. See, that's I forget what the hell they said. They said they wanted $1 a barrel toll, but yet some of the tankers hold 2 million barrels of oil or something, the super tankers. So that's a $2 million toll every time one goes through. All I can tell you about them damn things, they're huge. And their draft goes so far down. When I was in Long Beach, they couldn't get them in to the harbor where we were. So when we were leaving, we went past this one, and it was down to the water line, which wasn't that much higher than our main deck. I was on a small ship, so it was up, but not terrible. Okay, to get to the main deck. And we went out for a week or two and then come back. And they shuttle smaller ships out there and pump the oil out of it. And then when we come back, okay, that thing was out of the water so high, it was like coming next to a 16-story building. I mean, the amount of that ship that is under the water when it's full is unreal when you're, 40 yards away from the damn thing. I mean, it's ungodly. BSA Super Sport. All right, 22. A lot of people get into the 22s now because, they're it used to be like buying an old surplus gun. My neighbor collects them. He has he was showing me he has about 10 or 15 different ones, and they're old. That's what he collects now. 20. I know a lot of guys that do it. There's several people I knew that used to collect surplus that they get the older 22 rifles. And it's interesting because so many companies made them over the years, since for the past 100 years. So many companies made so many different types and so many different designs, be it bolts, semi-autos, or whatever. It's a pretty good collecting venue, I guess. Yeah, that's a popular thing now. I myself, nah. What happened to BSA? That's very true. That's very true. Marlin 39A. Now that is an interesting gun. Yes, I thought so. Trading U600 new. They're over $1,000. Let me look. This is not showing me through. Oh, here we go. No. That's a 22, correct? 39A. Okay, I'm sorry. You know what the retail is on them? Cabela's Gun. All right, boom. Henry Supremes. Henry's are okay. I've seen. I know a guy that has one, but they get kind of on the expensive side for what they really are. Keep it original. All right. Yeah, who knows? I didn't know that. I didn't know Beretta has bought into Ruger. Of course, Ruger, I don't know. We had the plant up here in Maydan. I don't know how they're doing. They were making a ton of AR barrels. I remember because I used to have the damn bins for them. They were doing that back. Well, that was back years ago. That was before the plague crisis and all the other nonsense. But I don't know. I don't know how they're doing now. I know some guys that I've seen them. I've worked on them. They're kind of a tricky gun. Yes, they are. I have to look that up. Get it. I guess they outlawed private ownership of guns over there. That's why you're getting that. And you get a true gun value. All right, 713 is the average price. Used 463, private party 713. Let's look at some results here. 493, 575 with a scope. you're looking at about a $500-600 gun, depending on how bad the guy wants it. 510, 755. I mean, they're a good gun. When I worked on them for them guys, I shot a few rounds out of them. They're a nice firearm. Not outlaw, just more. I think handguns. They can't own handguns or something they did over there in England. How's it going in Finland? Yeah, see, I don't know. That's another thing. They're starting to consolidate all the firearms things again, and that's just going to bring control. And whenever the foreign companies do that, it's like when the British guys bought Smith and Wesson. Okay, they totally screwed that company up. Actually, finish. Well, they could if it's traded. Yeah, see, 22s ain't my thing. There's plenty of deals out there just for. I got another video coming up. I bought a FEG 32 pistol from Atlantic when they had a flash sale. And, that's what I've been picking up, the Berettas or something like that, inexpensive guns, 2-3 C notes or whatever. So I don't know. In Finland, all right. So there's still stuff out there, and that I've been buying parts and pieces for ARs. They're constantly having sales. There's a couple projects and a couple more builds I'm gonna do. Why, I don't know. I guess because the price is so cheap. Or I'm waiting for society to collapse and then, I don't know, make out that way. All right. So who knows? But the ammo, they keep saying the price is going up. It's kind of edging up, but then you see these people having these flash sales to move some of it. It's hard to know what's going on. Everything is so volatile, Then it doesn't matter because with the price of gas and everything going up, if you order something, it's going to cost more, and that's where the increase or inflation and all this other crap's going. And plus, they're doing something weird with the banking system also. Morning barely. I purchased some. Yep. Well, other than collecting 22s, anybody doing any reloading? I have to go back. I was interrupted the past 2 weeks. I have to go out and finish testing some 223 stuff I've gotten. I did get another batch of bullets from Barry's Bullets, 55 grainers. Gonna try those out. I'm not quite sure how they're gonna work out. Never tried Barry's rifle bullets. I use a ton of pistol bullets. Don't reload. Oh, brown glue. How wonderful. 4064 is a good powder. You can use it just, you can use it for several things. I'm using it in 7.7 JAP and some other stuff. 300 blackout. I guess it depends on how heavy the bullets. I had a 16-inch barrel upper that I used 125 grain bullets. I can shoot them fairly accurately out to 200 yards with them. That depends. It's weird. I caught that one pistol. I just put some sort of bid in a week or two before the auction went. And I didn't even go back and check it because I didn't figure that I would get it for the price that I did. And I got lucky on that one. Of course, there's several other auctions that I have bid on that stuff before the auction immediately kind of went out of my price range. Yeah, I've never really done much of that. I think I bought some. I did do a custom load for a guy with a Varminator bullet, and those things, the jackets will show you had to be careful how you handle them and everything because you didn't want to bend where the hollow point was, the outer jacket of the bullet. But he bought a bunch of them, never came back. So I guess they worked out for him. Favorite grain 22 long rifle? I don't know, whatever, 30, 40 something standard. Never even really looked into it. They all kind of, unless you go to CCI, they make lighter ones. I guess the 40 some odd grain. The Remington Golden bullets in the green box or something is probably one of my favorite 22 rounds. Yeah, so you're running it subsonic and that for a pistol or something. I know a lot of people do the 220 grain. Chester makes that. Yeah, because I don't know what. I had a bunch of stuff over here. I don't know. Everything's in disarray. Yeah, it's true. The mini mags. If I got any type of semi-auto don't want to work, I stick the mini mags in there, and all the problems end right there and then. You know, they're a good all-around cartridge. I remember way back when they first come out with them, that was a big deal going down and getting them when they were a new item. Mini mags and then the stingers. I think was the other one. We used to go after the woodchucks, or as they say here, the groundhogs with them. Back in the 70s, I guess, when they came out. How far down can you load a 357 Magnum? Is down to 38 power still safe with high volume powder? Why don't you just put 38s in the 357 Magnum? And I don't understand what you mean is it's still safe with high volume powder. Yeah. Yes, they would. Yes, they would. Yep, 22s. I don't even know. I bought a couple cases of them when they kind of came down reasonable. I haven't bought 22s in a few years. I bought a case of the mini mags. Matter of fact, I was out shooting some the other day, and I forget what else I bought. I don't know if it was the Mexican ammo or what it was. There was some brand of ammo that worked fairly well in all of my 22s, but I haven't done any shoot. What it was, I took my brother's grandson out, let him shoot a 22 rifle. That was the first time we've shot anything in a while. Now I have to kind of look into it. I should go out and take a few of them guns out that I have. Yeah, that was one of them. They worked fairly good. The Winchesters, I had some Winchesters. What were they? They didn't work in my semi-automatic 22. The one that I had, I took out and I put that weird little dot scope on it. And they didn't work. I bought case of them. This subsonic, no. Do they make that anymore? I know they stopped making it, and I heard they started making it, and who the hell knows? Yeah, see, I didn't even. Let's do a quick check. Let's see what Ammo Seek tells us. 22 long rifle. Put our shipping filters in place. Cascade. 2.5 a box, a case of 550, $27 for Remington. What is that? Remington ammunition. Its Thunderbolt is standard velocity. I don't know what that is. I wouldn't buy it. But 20 cents, under 30 bucks for a carton. So Winchester. I don't know. Some people have complained about Winchester ammo. Winchester, Remington, Viper. Nah, I never liked them. Golden Bullet. That's the one I like. That's 525 rounds, $31. All right, for one of them cartons. That's not terrible for nowadays prices. For just your standard ammo. Arms Corps, I don't know if I tried some of that. And I'm not seeing Remington and Federal are beating them all out. I have not seen any Gila, Herders, Blazer, Cascade, Winchester, Federal, Remington. I don't see any unless they've put tariffs on them. Seen Arms Corps, some Fiyoshi. Very strange. Like I said, I have not bought any. Okay, back on the shelves. All right for that part. I haven't bought any 22s in a while. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't used any in a while. I think I did have some. Okay, standard velocity. Yeah, that's what it was, a Gila. I had Super Extras, something else, the subsonic stuff. Well, see, that's the thing. I always had issues with the Thunderbolts getting a dud round and that. Of course, then again, you don't know when they made it. When they made it during these panic sessions, there was a lot of people complaining about factory ammunition doing some really bad stuff, either squib loads or just blowing guns up. And, for years, I've never heard of any of that. Okay. And it all started with these stupid, when everything got so bad and there was the ammunition shortage and these companies weren't stopping the machines, doing the maintenance and that on them, and got a lot of crappy ammo come out for years. I haven't really run across much ammo. Of course, I haven't really bought a lot of different types other than 223 and 5.56. I've never run into any trouble with any of them. But as far as the 22s and all that stuff, the Mexican stuff wasn't bad. I've always had good luck with golden bullets. And some of the Winchester stuff I have to see what gun uses that, start using that stuff up. I got a bunch of it. It was in a black box, so I'm not quite sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's either what the powder is or something. That's what I knew. I knew a guy that bought 16,000 rounds of that stuff. He would go down to Walmart and catch us and just buy cartons and cartons, like an investment. He had it in a damn closet in the house, and he was waiting for the ammunition to go up again, and then sell them for double, triple the price or something. I mean, it's insane. But I don't know if that ever quite happened. Yeah, because what was it, Wildcats or whatever? I don't know what that stuff was. I had that box out here somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. I can't remember. There it is. M22. I bought a bunch of this, and for some reason, it would not work well in. Now I fired a bunch of this and used some of it, but it wouldn't work in that $90 Rock Island semi-automatic 22. It just would not feed. It mushed the bullet, shave them, bend them, and that. I have no idea what the issue is, but it did work. This stuff has worked in other 22 firearms that I had. It works all right. Yeah, I don't know. It's 40 grain, black copper plated round nose bullet, M22. Take a look at these. I haven't fired some of these in a bit. Can't open a damn box up. Oh well, I ain't gonna screw with it. But did use it for a while. Exactly. $88, 5,000. Yeah. Yeah, did anybody ever use these M22s that Winchester had? I bought like a case of this stuff or something, some kind of ridiculous Now I bought one not from our guns. I bought it from I think PSA, one of them. They're not a bad gun. You know, I shot mine. It works all right. M22. Okay. I can't remember when or how I bought this. Ammo. Guess I got it open now. Oh, yeah. Yep, there they are. So I don't know. Now I got the box open. Might as well take it out. Get a forced reset trigger for one of my 22s. That's what I gotta do. Then this stuff will just disappear. I think they make one for some guns, but the only problem is every time you touch off that forced reset trigger, people start calling the cops. There's a machine gun. I'll just leave that son of a bitch over there. I don't know. Is it true? I think I've seen something. They don't make 22s anymore. Or whatever. They got the government contracts. You're right about that. I was reading something. Yeah, see, some of the federals didn't feed in some guns. So I kind of stopped buying federal ammo. Don't understand. Oh, never know. Break-in period. Yeah, I needed a break-in period. See, that's another thing. Some ammo works fine in said 22 rifle or pistol, and then this stuff won't work at all. And in some, it's like the federal ammo worked in one pistol I had, but it wouldn't work in two of the others. Okay. And the golden bullets generally work well in all guns, but if you get a semi-auto that acts up and doesn't like the golden bullets, then you go with mini mags, and away they go. Yeah, I don't know. How you doing? Yes, they did. They had that. Log Cabin Loon did a video on it. I don't know if they were even casting their own bullets or something, and you had to somehow blow the rim out or something, or do something to get into the actual rim, and then get the priming powder back into the rim. I mean, for what you had to do, and anything that small is a pain. You don't reload. 22s are never meant to be reloaded, so. But yeah, they did. And I remember watching guys doing it. Ah. 22s. You know, you just buy a carton. What the hell is this? How many are in here? Tell me how many are in the damn box. Yeah, don't tell you how many are in this box. Huh. I don't know if it's 500 or what. Oh. They are aided by Vanguard, BlackRock, and oh, wonderful. Yeah, that ain't good. You know, those companies control all that shit, and then it's all just the banks control too much. Who knows where we will go? Heritage Rough Rider, what's his name, did a video on that, the blind sniper. Did a video on that particular pistol. My friend got one. He likes it for what he paid for it. He goes out just shooting when he goes outdoors, fishing or whatever, and he really likes that pistol. And the price didn't really set you back too much. Oh, El Rumbo, Ammo Seek. Well, weather's getting nice. I want to get myself out in the yard and do some work today while it's still not super hot yet. And probably going to wrap things up here. What do we got here? Last comment. What's made a chart? Oh, something to know. But like I said, guys, weather's nice. I'm going to get rolling. I got some stuff I got to do today. I will see you all next week at this time.